Welcome to this episode of Hip Hop History. This week we are getting into the highest selling rap group since Billboard started recording sales in 1991. The Beastie Boys were a rap group from New York City, formed in 1981. Group composed of Michael Mike D. Diamond on vocals and drums, Adam S3E8 on vocals and bass, and Adam Ad Rock Horowitz on vocals, guitar, and programming. Beastie Boys were formed out of members of an experimental hardcore punk band, the Young Aborigines, from 1978, with Mike D as the vocalist, Jeremy Shatton as bass guitar, John Barry on guitar, and Kate Schellenbach on drums. When Shatton left in 1981, MCA replaced him on bass, and the band changed their name to the Beastie Boys. Barry left shortly thereafter and was replaced by Ad Rock. After achieving local success in 1983 with the comedy hip-hop single Cookie Puss, Beastie Boys made a full transition to hip-hop, and Schellenbach left. Prior to forming Beastie Boys, Mike D was part of a number of bands such as Walden Jazz Band, BAN, and the Young Aborigines. Beastie Boys formed in July 1981 when the Young Aborigines bassist Jeremy Shatton left New York City for the summer, and the remaining members Mike D, John Barry, and Kate Schellenbach formed a new hardcore punk band with MCA. In a 2007 interview with Charlie Rose, MCA recalled that it was Barry who suggested the name Beastie Boys, although the band stated that Beastie is an acronym standing for Boys Entering Anarchist States Towards Inner Excellence. In the Charlie Rose interview, both MCA and Mike D acknowledged that the acronym was an afterthought conceived as the name was chosen. The band supported Bad Brains, the Dead Kennedys, the Misfits, and Reagan Youth at venues such as CBGB, A7, Trudy Heller's Place, and Max's Kansas City, playing at Max's on its closing night. In November 1982, Beastie Boys recorded a 7-inch EP, Pollywalk Stew, in 171A Studios, an early recorded sample of New York hardcore. On November 13, 1982, Beastie Boys played Phil Pucci's birthday for the purpose of his short concert film, Beastie. Pucci held the concert at the Bard College. The performance marked Beastie Boys' first on-screen appearance in a published motion picture. Pucci's concept for Beastie was to distribute a mixture of both half a dozen 16mm Bill and Howell Filmo cameras and 16mm Bolex cameras to audience members, and asked that they capture Beastie Boys' performance from the audience's own point of view, while a master sync sound camera filmed the balcony of the abandoned theater where the performance was held. The opening band for the performance was The Young and the Useless, which featured Adam Horowitz as the lead singer. A 1-minute clip of Beastie was subsequently excerpted and licensed to Beastie Boys for use in the Egg Raid on Moho segment of the Skills to Pay Bills long-form home video released by Capitol Records. Skills to Pay the Bills later went on to be certified gold by the RIAA. Barry left the group in 1982, later forming Thwig, Big Fat Love, and Bourbon Deluxe, and was replaced by Horowitz, who had become close friends with the Beastie Boys. The band also recorded and then performed its first hip-hop track, Cookie Puss, based on a prank call by the group to a Carvel ice cream franchise in 1983. It was a part of the New Lineup's EP, also called Cookie Puss, which was the first piece of work that showed their incorporation of the underground rap phenomenon and the use of samples. It quickly became a hit in the New York underground dance clubs and nightclubs. Beastie Revolution was later sampled for a British Airways commercial. Beastie Boys threatened to sue them over the use of the song. British Airways immediately paid them $40,000 in royalties. Following the success of Cookie Puss, the band began to incorporate rap into their sets. They hired a DJ for their live shows, New York University student Rick Rubin, who began producing records soon thereafter. "I met Mike first," Rubin recalled. "I thought he was an arrogant asshole. Though spending time with the Beasties, I grew to see that they had a great sense of humor. It wasn't really that they were assholes, and even if it was, they were funny with it." Rubin formed Def Jam Recordings with fellow New Yorker Russell Simmons and approached the band about producing them for his new label. As the band was transitioning to hip-hop, Schellenbach was fired in 1984, and Mike D taking over drums. In their 2018 memoir, Ad Rock expressed regret for firing Schellenbach, which he attributed to her not fitting in with the new tough rapper guy identity. The band's 12-inch single, Rock Hard, was the second Def Jam record crediting Rubin as the producer. The first was It's Yours by T. The Rock and Jazzy J. On July 22, 1986, Beastie Boys opened for John London's post-Sex Pistols band, Public Image Limited, and supported Madonna on her North American The Virgin Tour. The group was on the Raising Hell Tour with Run DMC, Houdini, LL Cool J, and the Timex Social Club. Thanks to this exposure, Hold It Now, Hit It charted on Billboard's US R&B and dance charts. She's On It, from the Crush Groove soundtrack, continued in a rap metal vein, while a double A-side 12-inch, Paul Revere, The New Style, was released at the end of the year. The band recorded License to Ill in 1986 and released it on November 15, 1986. License to Ill became one of the best-selling rap albums of the 1980s and the first rap album to go number 1 on the Billboard 200 chart, where it stayed for 5 weeks. It also reached number 2 on the top R&B album chart. It was Def Jam's fastest-selling debut record to date and sold over 9 million copies. The fourth single, You Gotta Fight for Your Right to Party, reached number 7 on the US Billboard Hot 100. Although the group has sold over 26 million records in the US, this is their only single to peak in the US top 10 or top 20. The accompanying video became an MTV staple. Another song from the album, album No Sleep Till Brooklyn peaked at number 14 on the UK singles chart. The group took the License to Ill tour around the world the following year. The duo was troubled with lawsuits and arrests, the group accused of provoking the crowd. This culminated in a notorious gig at the Royal Court Theatre in Liverpool, England on May 30th, 1987 that erupted into a riot approximately 10 minutes after the group hit the stage and the arrest of Ad-Rock by Merseyside police. He was charged with assault causing grievous bodily harm. In 1988, Beastie Boys appeared in The Tougher Than Leather, a film directed by Rubin, as a star vehicle for Run DMC and Def Jam Recordings. After Def Jam stopped paying them for their work they'd already done and were owed money for, Beastie Boys left Def Jam and signed with Capitol Records. The second Beastie Boys album, Paul's Boutique, was released on July 25th, 1989, produced by the Dust Brothers. It blends eclectic samples and has been described as an early work of experimental hip-hop. It failed to match the sales of License to Ill, reaching number 14 on the US album chart, but later attracted acclaim. Rolling Stones ranked it number 156 on its list of 500 greatest albums of all time. Check Your Head was recorded in the band's G-Sun studio in Atwater Village, California, and released on its Grand Royal record label. The band was influenced to play instruments on this album by the Dutch group Urban Dance Squad, with Mike D on drums, MCA on bass, Ad-Rock on guitar, and Mark Ramos Nishidi, keyboard Money Mark, on keyboards. Mario Caldado Jr., who helped with the production of Paul's Boutique, engineered the record and became a longtime collaborator. Check Your Head was released in 1992 and certified double platinum in the US, and peaked at number 10 on the Billboard 200. The single So What You Want reached number 93 on the Billboard Hot 100 and charted on both the rap and modern rock chart, while the album's first single, Pass the Mic, which peaked at number 38 on the Hot Dance Music chart. The album also introduced a more experimental direction with funk and jazz-inspired songs, including Lighten Up and Something's Gotta Give. The band returned to their hardcore punk roots for the song Time for Livin', a cover of the 1974 Sly and the Family Stone song. The addition of instruments and the harder rock sound of the album could be considered a precursor to the new metal genre of music to come out in the later half of the 1990s. Beastie Boys signed an eclectic roster of artists to their Grand Royal label, including Luscious Jackson, Sean Lennon, and Australian artist Ben Lee. The group owned Grand Royal Records until 2001. Grand Royal's first independent release was Luscious Jackson's album In Search of Manny in 1993. Also in 1993, the band contributed the track It's the New Style with DJ Hurricane to the AIDS benefit album No Alternative, produced by the Red Hot organization. Beastie Boys also published Grand Royal magazine with their first edition in 1993 covering a story about Bruce Lee, artwork by George Clinton, and interviews with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Q-Tip. The 1995 issue of the magazine contained a memorable piece on the mullet. The Oxford English Dictionary cites this as the first published use of the term, along with the lyrics from the band's 1994 song Mullet Head. That term was not heard in the 1980s, even though that decade has retroactively been hailed as the mullet's peak in popularity. The Oxford English Dictionary says that the term was apparently coined and certainly popularized by the US hip-hop group the Beastie Boys. Grand Royal magazine is also responsible for giving British band Sneaker Pimps their name. Ill Communication, released in 1994, saw Beastie Boys return to the top of the charts with their album debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200 and peaked at the number 2 on the R&B and hip-hop album chart. The single Sabotage became a hit on modern rock charts, and the music video, directed by Spike Jonze, received extensive play on MTV. Get It Together reached the top 10 on the Billboard Hot 100. Also in 1994, the band released Some Old Bullshit, featuring the band's early independent material, which made it to number 46 on the Billboard Independent Albums chart. Beastie Boys headlined at Lollapalooza in 1994 together with the Smashing Pumpkins. In addition, the band performed 3 concerts in Los Angeles, New York City, and Washington, D.C. to raise money for the Melaripa Fund, and dedicated the royalties from Shambhala and Batistava Vow from the Ill Communication to the cause. The Melaripa Fund aims to raise awareness of the Tibetan human rights issues and the exile of the Dalai Lama. In 1996, Yak organized the largest rock benefit show since 1985's Live Aid, named the Tibetan Freedom Concert, a 2-day festival at the Golden Gate Park in San Francisco that attracted over 100,000 attendees. The band also released Igalo e Ilio, a collection of 8 songs lasting just 11 minutes, harking back on their punk roots in 1995. A collection of previously released jazz and funk instrumentals was released on Grand Royal in 1996 with the title and artwork to pay homage to an album by electric pop music pioneers Perry and Kingsley. In 1992, Beastie Boys decided to sample portions of the sound recording of Choir by James Newton in various renditions of their song Pass the Mic. The band did not obtain a license from Newton to use the composition. Pursuant to their license from ECM Records, Beastie Boys digitally sampled the opening 6 seconds of Newton's sound recording of Choir and repeated the 6-second sample as a background element throughout their song. Newton brought to suit, claiming that the band infringed his copyright in the underlying composition of Choir. The district court granted Beastie Boys summary judgment. The district court said that no license was required because the 3-note segment of Choir lacked the requisite originality and was therefore not copyrightable. The decision was affirmed on appeal. Beastie Boys began their work on the album Hello Nasty at the G-Sun Studios in Los Angeles in 1995, but continued to produce and record it in New York City City after Yacht moved to Manhattan in 1996. The album displayed a substantial shift in musical feel with the addition of Mix Master Mike. The album's featured boom-bastic beats, rap samples, and experimental sounds made it its own. Released on July 14, 1998, Hello Nasty earned its first week sales of 681,000 copies in the US and went straight to number 1 in the US, the UK, Germany, Australia, the Netherlands, New Zealand, and Sweden. The album achieved number 2 rank on the charts in Canada and Japan and reached top 10 chart position in Austria, Switzerland, Ireland, Belgium, Finland, France, and Israel. Beastie Boys won 2 Grammys in 1999, receiving the Grammy Award for Best Alternative Music Album for Hello Nasty, as well as the Grammy Award for Best Rap Performance by a Duo or Group for Intergalactic. This was the first and only time that a band has won awards in both the rap and alternative categories. Also, at the 1998 MTV Music Video Awards, they won the Michael Jackson Video Vanguard Award for their contribution to music videos. The following year, at the 1999 MTV Video Music Awards, they also won the award for Best Hip Hop Video for their hit song Intergalactic. Beastie Boys used both appearances at the Video Music Awards to make politically charged speeches of considerable length to the sizable MTV audience. At the 1998 ceremony, Yacht addressed the issue with Muslim people being stereotyped as terrorists and that most people in the Muslim faith are not terrorists. These comments were made in the wake of the U.S. Embassy bombings that had occurred in both Kenya and Tarzana. At the 1999 ceremony, in the wake of the horror stories that were coming out of the Woodstock 99, Adam Horovitz addressed the fact that there had been many cases of sexual assault and rapes at the festival, suggesting the need for bands and festivals to pay much more attention to security details at their concerts. Beastie Boys started an arena tour in 1998. Through Ian C. Rogers, the band made live downloads of their performances available to their fans, but were temporarily thwarted when Capitol Records removed them from its website. Beastie Boys were one of the first bands who made MP3 downloads available on their website. The group got a high level of response and public awareness as a result, including a published article in the Wall Street Journal on the band's effort. On September 28, 1999, Beastie Boys joined Elvis Costello to play Radio on the 25th anniversary season of Saturday Night Live. Beastie Boys released The Sounds of Science, a 2-CD anthology of their works in 1999. This album reached number 19 on the Billboard 200, number 18 in Canada, and number 14 on the R&B hip-hop chart. The one new song, the single Alive, reached number 11 on the Billboard Modern Rock chart. In 2000, Beastie Boys had planned to co-headline the Rhyme and Reason tour with Rage Against the Machine and Busta Rhymes, but the tour was canceled when drummer Mike D suffered a serious injury due to a bicycle accident. Under the name Country Mike, Mike D recorded an album, Country Mike's Greatest Hits, and gave it to friends and family in Christmas of 2000. Adam Ad Rock Horovitz's side project BS 2000 was released simply. Adam Ad Rock Horovitz's side project BS 2000 released Simply Mortified in 2001. In October 2001, after the September 11, 2001 attacks, Beastie Boys organized and headlined the New Yorkers Against Violence concert at the Hammerstein Ballroom. In 2002, Adam Yacht started building a new studio facility, Oscilloscope Laboratories, in downtown Manhattan, and the band started to work on their new album there. The band released a protest song in a World Gone Mad against the 2003 Iraq War as a free download on several websites, including the Melorepa website, MTV, MoveOn.org, and Win Without War. The 19th and 20th Tibetan Freedom concerts were held in Tokyo and Taipei, Beastie Boys' first Taiwan appearance. Beastie Boys also headlined the Coachella Valley Music and Arts Festival. Their single Check It Out debuted on the OC in the Vegas episode from season 1, which aired April 28, 2004. To the Five Boroughs was released worldwide on June 15, 2004. It was the first album the band produced themselves and reached number 1 on the Billboard Albums chart, number 2 on the UK and Australia, and number 3 in Germany. The first single from the album, Check It Out, released Check It Out, reached number 1 in Canada and on the US Modern Rock charts. The album was the cause of some controversy with allegations that it installed spyware when inserted into the CD drive of a computer. The band denied this allegation, defending that there is no copy protection software on the album sold in the US and the UK, while there is Microvision CDS 200 copy protection software installed in the European copies of the album. This is standard practice for all European releases on EMI and Capitol Records released in Europe, and it does not install spyware or any form of permanent software. The band stated in 2006 that they were writing material for the next album and would be producing it themselves. Speaking to the British Music Weekly, NME, in 2007, Mike D revealed that the new album was to be called The Mix-Up. Despite initial confusion regarding whether the album would have lyrics as opposed to being purely instrumental, the Mike to Mike blog reported that Capitol Records had confirmed it would be strictly instrumental. They headlined the Langardo Music Festival in South Florida on Friday, March 7, 2008. They won a Grammy for The Mix-Up in the Best Pop Instrumental Album category at the 50th Annual Grammy Awards in 2008. In February 2009, Yacht revealed the forthcoming new album had taken the band's sound to a bizarre new direction, saying it's a combination of playing and sampling stuff as we're playing, and while sampling pretty obscure records. The tentative title for the record was Tadlock's Glasses. On May 25, 2009, it was it was announced during an interview on Late Night with Jimmy Fallon that the name of the new album would be Hot Sauce Committee and was set for release on September 15th. The album included a collaboration with Santa Gold, who co-wrote and sang with the band on the track Don't Play No Games That I Can't Win. In June, the group appeared at Bonnaroo Music and Arts Festival and performed the new single from the album titled Too Many Rappers alongside rapper Nas, who appears on the track. It would be the last live performance by Beastie Boys as a trio. On July 20th, Yacht announced on the band's official YouTube channel and through the fan mailing list the cancellation of several tour dates and the postponement of the new album due to the discovery of a cancerous tumor in his parotid gland and a lymph node. In late 2010, Beastie Boys sent out 2 emails regarding the status of Hot Sauce Committee Parts 1 and 2 to their online mailing list. An email dated October 18th read, "Although we regret to inform you that Hot Sauce Committee Part 1 will continue to be delayed indefinitely, Hot Sauce Committee Part 2 will be released on time as originally planned in the spring of 2011. On April 22nd, Beastie Boys emailed out a cryptic message saying, "This Saturday, 10:35 a.m. Just listen to the beatbox." A day later, they live streamed their album online via beatbox inside Madison Square Garden. The band was announced as an inductee into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame on December 11th. They were inducted by Chuck D and LL Cool J on April 14th, 2012. Yacht was too sick to attend the ceremony, having been admitted to New York Presbyterian Hospital the same day. Therefore, the group did not perform. Instead, Black Thought, Travie from the Gym Class Heroes, and Kid Rock performed a melody of their songs. Diamond and Horowitz accepted and read a speech that Yacht had written. On May 4, 2012, Yacht passed from cancer at the age of 47. Mike D told Rolling Stones that Beastie Boys had recorded new music in late 2011, but did not say if these recordings would be released. He also said that the Beastie Boys would likely disband due to the death of MCA, though he was open to making new music with Ad Rock, and that Yacht would genuinely want us to try whatever crazy thing we wanted but never got around to it. In June 2014, Mike D confirmed that he and Ad Rock would never make music under the Beastie Boys name again. Founding Beastie Boys guitarist John Barry passed away May 19, 2016, aged 52 as a result of frontotemporal dementia, following several years of ill health. He was credited with naming the band Beastie Boys and played guitar on their first EP. The first Beastie Boys show took place at Barry's loft. Yacht's will forbids the use of Beastie Boys music in advertisements. In June 2014, Beastie Boys won a lawsuit against Monster Energy for using their music in a commercial without permission. They were awarded $1.7 million in damages and $668,000 for legal fees. In October 2018, Michael Diamond and Adam Horowitz released a memoir, Beastie Boys Book. In 2020, they released a documentary, Beastie Boys Story, directed by Spike Jonze. The career-spanning book and documentary were complemented by a compilation album, Beastie Boys Music, in October 2020. Around the time of the release of their debut album, Mike D started to appear on stage and in publicity photos wearing a large Volkswagen emblem attached to a chain. This started a rash of thefts of emblems from vehicles around the world as fans tried to emulate him. Beastie Boys were considered a very influential in both hip-hop and rock music scene, with artists such as Eminem, Rage Against the Machine, Limp Bizkit, Sublime, Korn, Slipknot, and Blur citing them as an influence. Beastie Boys have had 4 albums reach the top of the Billboard Albums chart: License to Ill, Ill Communication, Hello Nasty, and To the 5 Boroughs since 1986. In the November 2004 issue of Rolling Stones named Sabotage the 475th song on their 500 greatest songs of all time list. In the April 2005 issue, Rolling Stones ranked them number 77 on their list of 100 greatest artists of all time. VH1 ranked them number 89 on their list of the 100 greatest artists of all time. In 2020, Spin Magazine ranked Beastie Boys as the 12th most influential artist of the previous 35 years. Now, let's go over the group's discography and filmography. Albums: License to Ill in 1986, Paul's Boutique in 1989, Check Your Head in 1992, Ill Communication in 1994, Hello Nasty in 1998, The 5 Boroughs in 2004, The Mix-Up in 2007, Hot Sauce Committee Part 2 in 2011. Filmography includes Crush Groove in 1985, Tougher Than Leather in 1988, Futurama episode Hell is Other Robots in 1999, Awesome, I Fucking Shot That in 2006, Fight for Your Right Revisited in 2011, Beastie Boys Story in 2020. These 3 are ridiculously influential, from the car emblem chains to the rock and rap hybrid to being a group of white rappers popping in the 80s. Beastie Boys could have a movie a la Straight Outta Compton. That's just how impactful that they were and are. Beastie Boys brought a fun, carefree energy to a genre that was predominantly about a realistic version of inner cities and life. Beastie Boys also brought an energy to their music videos we hadn't seen again until Busta Rhymes and Missy Elliott. Thank you Ad Rock, MCA, and Mike D for everything you brought and contributed to hip-hop. Thank you for everything, Beastie Boys. And thank you for listening to this episode of Hip Hop History. Please like, subscribe, and leave a review if possible. Thank you and have a great day.